guys, Sister Lisa here. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about laziness. It's something that we all have used in regards to someone else, in regards to ourselves, and things of that nature. And I wanted to talk about the seriousness of laziness because sometimes we just throw it out there not realizing the impact that it can have on someone's life or their behavior and things of that nature. I remember when I was younger, I used to be called lazy all the time, and to me it wasn't the case. I wasn't being lazy, it's just that I don't know, I just decided I wanted to either take time doing what I was doing, or it was something that I wasn't enjoying, so I went slowly, or I procrastinated, which is just as bad, but as a young kid there are certain things you just don't enjoy doing. But in calling someone lazy, what I'm saying, that's basically you putting into into the universe that's what you consider that person to be. And the Bible talks about life and death is in the tongue. And so if you want someone to be successful, you don't call them names that would prevent them from being successful. So if you want someone to be active and things of that nature, you don't call them a lazy and a loser, and you don't call them lazy and you don't call them loser and things of that nature. And so, but we also know that you, within yourself, you don't want to label yourself as that, and you don't want yourself to be labeled as that, because the Bible states that it's just not a good thing to be lazy. And if we look into Proverbs, which there are a lot of verses in Proverbs on being slothful or sluggard, and one of them is when we look into Proverbs 12 and verse 24, it says that diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. And we know that to be true, because if someone asks you to do something and you don't do it, within a certain amount of time or anything like that, that person might come back and now you're forced to do it in front of them, and on top of that, your workload might become doubled, or you might have to do extra things of that nature. So we know that we always want to be diligent in our work, because it falls into so many other parts of our lives. And so if we're diligent in that, then we'll be diligent in other things, and we don't want to be slack in our work. It's not something that's considered to be godly. It's not one of our gifts of the Spirit, so it should not be labeled amongst us as believers. Also, if you look into Proverbs 12 and 27, it says, "The lazy do not roast any gain, but the diligent feed on the riches of the hunt." So again, you want to make sure that in everything you are working with diligent hands. You are looking to the work that you are doing, you're doing it expediently, you're doing it with the best of your ability, and you're not just doing a lackadaisical job just because, what I'm saying? So even if you're in a job that you hate, if you hate it so much, then find something that you love, but while you're there, you make sure that it's giving your best, because every situation that you're in, God can use it for your good, and we want to make sure that He gets all the glory. So as a Christian, as a believer, you definitely don't want to be labeled, as someone who is lazy. And so in everything, you want to make sure that you're putting your best, your best foot forward, your best work forward. And so if we also look into Proverbs 6 and verse 6, it says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise." And we know about the ant for previously in the same chapter is that the ant, though it's a small thing, it gathers its food from afar. It carries twice, 3 times, 10 times its weight in food to feed its community and things of that nature. And so when we look at that, we know that the Bible says that is wise. I'm not talking about the carried food 10 times your size, but being diligent, making sure that you're working hard to provide for your community, for yourself, because at the end of the day, if you don't eat, don't get me wrong, there are circumstances that might prevent you from eating, but if you put in the hard work, God will provide. And so we look at all these, and we know that, hey, that's not something that I want to be. I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to be a sluggard. It's not something, it doesn't feel good, when someone calls you lazy, especially if you know that you're not lazy. And so we know we don't want that to be amongst us. And so for me personally, I've been working on not putting myself in a situation where I am called lazy, where I can be called a sluggard. Because one other thing the Bible talks about being a sluggard is a little slumber, it talks about sleeping, but it says a little too much sleep and poverty comes on you like a thief. And so we want to make sure at all times we're being diligent in what we do, in what we say, because everything that we put out there, we want to make sure it gives God the glory, and He doesn't want His people to be labeled as sluggards or lazy people. You also, if you look at Proverbs 6 in the same chapter, in verse 9, it also says, "How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep?" So you don't, and it's funny because people who say that they're tired, and then you have those that they're always tired, and you wonder, like, why are you always tired? Because I've found in my experience, the longer you sleep, the more tired you are, which means that you shouldn't sleep so much, and so if you are sleeping and you wake up and you feel that you're still tired, unless you genuinely haven't had a good amount of sleep, then you want to make sure that you start doing things, being active. And trust me, the minute that you start moving around, you start being active, that sleepiness will go right away. It will go right away. And that is definitely not something of God. Sleeping your life away. Basically, I used to hear all the time, you sleeping your life away. You don't want to do that, because before you know it, the day is over, and what have you gotten accomplished? And so at every turn, we want to make sure that we are diligent in our work. We're diligent in reading, because sometimes we say we're too tired to read, we're too tired to pray, we're too tired to this. But people, I think I've heard this, like, you choose what you consider a priority. You choose what it is that you want to do. So if you wanted to go to a club or go to go to a movie, no matter how tired you are, you will make the time out to go to that movie. You will go hang out with your friends. You will do this. It's just sad that when it comes to getting to know the Lord and things of that nature, we're just too tired to do that, and our people are too tired to do that. Because I no longer claim that as part of my part of who I am, because honestly, yes, I used to use that excuse too. And so in everything, we want to be diligent, we want to seek God first, and we want to give Him the glory. So as always, thank you for listening, thank you for subscribing.